Audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. We'll start within few minutes, sir. Let
Sure.
participants join.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, sir. Good morning, dear participants.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, dear participants. I welcome you to this particular refresher program, Day 3, Session 1. We have a speaker, Dr. Sunil sir, on the topic case studies in entrepreneurship. Before Sir starts the session, I request Professor Prakash Gani Sir to introduce Dr. Sunil Honungar Sir. Please, sir.
Om Shri Manjunathaya Namaha. Very good morning to all. Let me introduce today's speaker, Dr. Sunil Kumar Honungar sir. Dr. Sunil Kumar completed BE in Mechanical Engineering from Karnataka University, Dharwad in the year 1993. He then completed his MTech in the year 2002 from VTU Belagavi. Later, he completed a PhD from Anna University in the year 2016. He is currently working as assistant professor, selection grade at STMCT Dharwad. His area of expertise are machine design, advanced manufacturing system, machine tools, and optimization techniques. Dr. Honungar sir has numerous research publications to his credit. He has received various honors and awards. To name a few, he was a member of the event Best Innovative Product in Medical Device Innovations held at IIT Bombay in the year 2019. He has received a Dr. S.R. Gollapudi Award, IIIE 2018, for contributing substantially to spread of industrial engineering profession and the institutional activities. He has also received the special award, IIIE 2017, for contribution in Bridging Industry Institute in the year 2017. I welcome you, sir. Now I request Dr. Honungar sir to start with his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Gani. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, done. So I'll just start. In fact, thank you, Professor Gani, for giving a brief introduction of mine. The topic initially assigned to me was case studies in entrepreneurship. In fact, Dr. S.S. Navalgund, who happens to be my good colleague also, we generally have numerous discussions, deliberations. So probably in that context, I don't know. In fact, I was surprised that he just invited me, sir. Can you take up this topic? We feel that you fit in this particular slot. It was given case studies in entrepreneur. To be frank, whatever presentation I have done today, it is on the ground reality. So I don't want to showcase myself as a very, what you say, achieved person rather. So whatever these are there, it is purely on my this thing. But however, I thought only sharing those may not be relevant to this particular. So in that context, I have taken little liberty to showcase prior to success stories in entrepreneurship. How can we develop this entrepreneurship skill through academia? So it is solely my what you say a sort of involvement in the teaching arena, and of course deliberation with a few of my like-minded faculty people. Okay, in this context, I'll be just so again this Gadi sir has told already. However, I would like to brief a little more because I was comfortable in industry. I got graduated from the same institute where I'm working now. I graduated in the year 1993. It was yearly course then time, where my SDM college was affiliated to Karnataka University in Dharwad. Then after that, I joined the industry. Of course, not moved away from the place where I'm working in Hubli Dharwad only. So around 6 years, I just worked in industry comfortable because of personal reasons. I was not in a position to continue. So the next option was teaching. In fact, wholeheartedly, I came to teaching, not the option. So I pursued my MTech in machine design from KLA Institute, Belgavi, which was affiliated to VTU. I think it was third batch, I suppose, that MTech from VTU. After that, I just joined SDMCET in the same year, 2002 only, as a lecturer, ad hoc lecturer. It was a contract basis. So why I am telling? Because I served in various capacities and various assignments were assigned actually. So whatever I am presenting, it is solely my what you say thoughts and my views. So please don't. In case if it has come little harsh, don't take it to heart and soul. So please excuse me. Okay, in that context, I am telling one more time. since then, 2002, 2003 or 4, I got selected also for a PhD. Most of my colleagues were not been knowing. So to NITK Surathkal, but I could not able to join because of various reasons. So I had to wait till 2009. It was under QIP, Quality Improvement Program. I got a deputation from institute with salary, thanks to our management, to PSG College of Technology, Coimbatore, which was affiliated earlier to Anna University, Coimbatore only. Then the time when I was supposed to submit my, it again swapped back to Anna University, Chennai. So what do you say, a lot of experience. After that, after coming back to my this one PhD program, in fact, thanks to one of the principal who came from IIT Chennai actually. So he had taken some commitments. What you will do after coming back from your doctoral program? So something you have to do. So in that context, it was pinching actually. So I took it as a heart and soul. So I was in search of getting new things and then knowing new things and exposing myself to the what we say challenges and all. Under that condition, there is one more program called VLCI. This is a Visionary Learning Community of India. So 4 or 5 of our colleagues got what you say sponsored for that. So it was in Belgium actually, year long, and only 2 of us, myself and one of my teacher, I'll just show that, could able to complete. So it is a level 2. There are only 3 belts in that: white, green, and then the black. So I am a green belt holder of that also. So in totality, 20 years teaching experience, 6 years industry plus 3 years research experience I am having. So content of discussion, I don't want to say that I am showcasing myself again. I'll repeat as my role model. So content of discussion, whatever I know, so I'll try my level best to showcase the best possible. So one of the things most of the industrialists are worried on incompetency of Indian engineering graduates who are to be absorbed by any industry. So this we will just see what is the scenario, how far it is the truth or whatever. So whatever I'm telling through the what you say with references only, I'm just sharing my experience. And next is what is the skill in graduation learning. Of course, probably most of us are knowing this NEP has come into existence, and of course still we don't know how far it is going to be and how it is going to be and all that. Of course, first year it has started, but still we are not yet very much clear about the path, how it is going to be, what will be the outcomes and all that. Of course, prior to that, we also have NDA, this documentation, outcome-based learning and all, probably. Okay, so anyway, we will just see what is skill basically in the graduation, because even government policies are also saying that you need to create a graduates who are industry ready, they should have the skill, this, that, and all. So we'll just see that. Why skill is so important for engineers, especially that institutes. So that also we'll just touch upon. Then my own experience, in fact, I was lucky, most of my senior faculty, my teachers, so they were role models actually, because probably teaching was the only, what is a thrust during that time. Now it is a multidimensional. You can't only do teaching, you have to bring what you say some projects and then funded projects basically, and then again consultancy, paper publication. It is multidimensional. So teaching focus, in my view, of course I don't know how many of you agree with, so it has gone a little down probably. That may be one of the reasons in my view. Okay, so of course how to enhance that skill, during that we will just touch upon. And one of the thing what I have learned through VLCA, that is observation skill. So most of the students, they lack in observation skill. Because of that only, whatever problem we are now facing, that is the root cause of that. We will touch upon that, and then some success stories and of mine, and the importance of skill development through graduation for entrepreneurial phase. Not only success stories, I also share some unsuccessful stories also of mine actually. Let us see that. So first one, most of the industrialists are worried on incompetency of graduates. Maybe you are aware, one time I think it is Narayan Murthy sir, some time back, in an open what you say conclave, he just expressed that nearly 75% of graduates are not industry ready. So that was this thing. And later later, a lot of news also came on that. So like 75% Indian engineering students are unemployed. One report says, I think it is pretty old, I believe some 4 or 5 years back or prior to that also. And some of the paper news said that 94% of graduates are not fit for the hiring. So some IT Albert has said that, and somebody said 60% of engineering graduates are unemployed. This is all old prior to this COVID arena. So, however, I have one more this thing interesting, that is India Skill Report. So, this is an agency which was assigned, I think, in context with. One second, just hold on. Pardon? Slide share ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಹೌದಾ? ಅರೆ ಹಂಗೆ Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. ಹೌದು, I'm sorry. I think I have not. I'll just. Sorry. I'm sorry. I think that there was a technical problem. I was under the impression that my slides are being shared. Thanks to my colleague who came and then just told upon. So this is the first slide. In fact, I have completed whatever that has to be, and then this is my brief this thing whatever. And this I think I will just be in the beginning of that. So most of the industries are worried on incompetency of engineering graduates. So this is the one of the newspaper that is 75% of my voice is audible. Screen and voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Both. It's visible and audible, sir.
Thank you. So industries are worried upon incompetence of engineering graduates. So this is a newspaper report actually. 75% of Indian engineering graduates are unemployable. So this is what is the report says, and the newspaper, of course, Hindu and Economic Times. Some time back, some IT stalwart has expressed that 94% of engineering graduates are not fit. Of course, probably this is a contradictory because placements are happening, and how come? So the quality of work what the companies are allotting them, and again expecting. So there is a mismatch actually in that context probably. And again, another paper says 60% of engineering graduates are also unemployable. So interestingly, I have one more this thing report, that is India Skill Report. So which has given a very good statistical content. So what is the scenario and all? We'll just see how this particular what you say sort of employability has changed over the years. That is from 2015 till 2021. So if you just look into that, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, up to there is a uptrend actually. Okay, so this is employability. Employability means I'm not talking only on the what you say technical this thing. It is total employability of Indian context basically. And if you just look into that 2020, what happened? There is a sudden dip actually. So probably all of us are aware of what might be the reason. This COVID Chinese virus has affected a lot, and further 2021 also there is further dip from 46% to 45.9. Of course, the dip is very minute, but however there is a downtrend. So probably all of us are already aware of. Yeah, this COVID somewhere in the 2019 and 20 in between. So there is a Chinese virus. So in my view, probably that may be one of the reason. And in addition to that, educational, most of us are already familiar. Educational institutions and academia began to adopt virtual teaching methods and online classes to fill the knowledge deficit. In fact, now also I don't know. Probably excuse me, those who have kept their what do you say attendance on and when they're doing some other activity. So this also we have faced being a teacher, because so many students they were also little what is enthusiastic, and then we had a lot of challenges during COVID time taking classes. So whenever we used to insist them to be there, they used to tell numerous reasons like connectivity is not there, it is poor, this, that, and all. So that time also, whatever being a teaching side, whatever the knowledge we have imparted to the students, in my view, I have my own reservation whether it was really what you say a sort of attained the purpose or not. Okay, so that may be also one of the reason in my view, that is a dip in the what you say employability, because again what happened, the student sometime we have even exams were not conducted in the first phase, and then they were summed up and then sent as it is. So this all were the challenges for the lack of employability in my view. And again, further comments. So while most professionals are reliant on skill and proficiency of their job, the internet has offered a venue to acquire necessary skill set. I think probably you might be noticed with the students, they started referring other what you say knowledge sources through internet, and then started making themselves comfortable. So and then education remains luckily unbroken link between the employability and the economic sustainability. So what do you mean by that? Whatever we just give the knowledge and certify them and send them across, they were absorbed. That is, that link is not yet broken as of now. But again, further, in view of this government policies and new these things, whatever we are seeing, don't know what will be the scenario. I think virtual university, virtual things, whether the conventional teaching will become obsolete and all. So that is also going to be $1 billion question as of. And then again, with the widespread use of internet technologies and smart devices, aspiring professionals can get necessary skill set in the short duration for a reasonable fee. I think most of the, some apps have also come into the market actually. So you pay some 200, 300 rupees, they will teach you some coding or some particular expertise in a very short duration. So again, some companies, they don't see how far you know the knowledge. Depending upon that, they are started also absorbing also. So this trend is going. And again, in addition to that, the certification programs and online degrees from top universities, it is surprising actually. If you can able to see, even MIT they started, and some in Western also, some universities, England, some universities leave apart from England and all. In Indian context also, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, and even this private university, BITS Pilani, they have also started this online this thing portfolio. So again, this is again going to be challenge. Why I'm telling, being a teaching side, there is a lot of responsibility for us to cope up and then again act upon. So in that context, I'm just sharing this. And then little going ahead, so I have shared. I got this one more interesting statistics from India Skill Report 2021, wherein total employability in Indian context, right from B Pharma, Polytechnic, MCA, BSc, and all, what is the percentage of employability? We are lucky actually being a technical crew. So B Tech holds the maximum chunk of the employability, that is 46.82% as on date, that is 2022. And if you just go in the stream-wise engineering, if you are a little, what is say, a little bothered about how is that like, to my surprise, a lot of people say there is a rush. I think it may be everywhere, including my state or some other state also, Tamil Nadu also. CS, not even a single seats are vacant. Most of the aspiring graduates, they want to go for CS. I don't know, probably that is the buzz or parents pressure or something else, market trend. So if you just look into that, civil is the lowest, that is percentage of employability 26.50, and mechanically, ironically, it is 34.15. And if you just see the trend of what is the demand of mechanical seats, most of the colleges in Karnataka, to my knowledge, some of the institutes, they have closed only, even though there is a percentage of placement or employability is 34.15, which is very less, I think, some 3.8 compared to computer science. Computer science, it is 38.32. So remember, this India Skill Report is not a hoax actually, like a paid this thing report. It is amalgamated with AICT and then again some other CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industry, and then some other. So it is genuine only, whatever, and accepted widely also. Okay, I think later you can see this is available, and whatever I'm showcasing, it is going to be genuine only. Followed by E&C, and then electrical engineering to the surprise 47%, and IT, information technology, tops in this particular group of employability. And a few more remarks. So what we need to do? So in my view, the holistic approach to the employability needs a mix of technological familiarity and in-depth subject knowledge that influence the employability of an individual. So what we need to, of course, most of the colleges they are doing. I'm not telling anything new to that. So they do a lot of activity like calling some industry experts or some technical debate or some competitions. Everything they are doing, all sort of things. So only the crux is it goes with the fundamental only. So most of my colleagues also do agree. Those who are more than 15, 20 years experience. If you do properly, whatever the knowledge is sharing in the class, that encompasses all the 10 circles, that takes care of all the problems. Okay, so probably that link is missing. So again, here also it is said that same that is a mixture of technological familiarity and in-depth knowledge is the need of the hour. If more youths are not trained and job ready, there is going to be industry demand will not be met. That is going to be again deep trouble for nation as well. And again, further, we on the other side, we'll just see one more this thing. This is one side of that, and another side, when the companies hire the people, so they have another problem. This I'm showcasing because I happen to be our college placement in charge for non-IT branches for some time, and this problem all the time I used to hear that. So let us see some video so that you will also feel it. I think voice will be there.
Bigger challenge for us is how do you retain?
Basically, it is a conclave. Taleja, that HR consultant is some conclave. There is a debate, and the person on the right hand side, he is asking some questions to that, and then what he says. It is just hardly 2 minutes video. Let us see that.
Because many times the freshers when they come in within 6 months, 1 year after you train, they leave. So that has been a big challenge which we are still trying to address. We are thinking of looking at some kind of retainership, at least 3 years. So, I don't. So I'm just.
I'll just tell. Hope voice and the video is clear.
Yes, sir. It's okay, sir. It's fine.
Fine. The HR is asking to the expert. So the retainership at least 3 years. How should you? What should we do to retain the people? And the person on the left hand side is saying that it won't work. So why it won't work? He explains in a very simple, systematic manner. Let us see.
So that's why it is just trying to figure out how do we do this.
So I want you to understand this. The world of business has seen 3 generations: the industrial revolution, the information revolution, and now we are in this revolution called the social revolution. Industrial revolution, people took a job for survival. They wanted basic necessity of roti, kapda, makan. So they went in and they worked in a workplace, and they didn't leave that workplace even if the boss was abusive, and even if the boss would physically beat them up, people would not leave. That was the era of bosses always, right? Because opportunities were less. That is pretty much the grandparents of today's workforce. Then came the information revolution, where all these IT companies, brands started building, and the workforce then came to work not for survival, because their parents took care of survival. This workforce went to work for standard of living. Basically, get a good enough salary to pay the house EMI, the car EMI, education. Pretty much our generation. You went to work for that, for standard of living. Now, in this generation, loyalty reduced. Now, the truth is that loyalty never existed in the first place. Loyalty didn't exist. There was no option. This generation, information revolution, got option. They got a better quality of workplace, and they got better pay, then people would jump a job, right? Now this was the information revolution. Then came the third revolution. After 2008's recession, information revolution died. Today, information is available for free. You can learn coding on YouTube. You don't have to. It's no longer a hidden knowledge. So you need to understand. Now we live in a digital revolution or a social revolution, and everything is social. Which means today's workforce, they don't care about survival. The grandparents took care of it. They don't care about standard of living. The parents took care of it. Even the neighbor does not care about standard of living anymore, because even neighbor has Dish TV and Tata Sky in their house. So if you say I'll cut your pay, or if you say I'll bind you with the contract, they will say thank you so much, I'm finding another job. Today's workforce needs something else. They want quality of life, not standard of life. Standard of life, parents took care. Today's workforce is thinking quality of life, which means quality of workplace, which means quality of job, quality of environment, quality of role, opportunity, learning, and rewards, all of that. Unless you don't have a mechanism for that, you will always grapple with this retention challenge.
Basically, what he told is there is the 3 segments actually. Earlier, our fathers' era and our era and our children's era. You can just do the category. Earlier there were no options. People never think of switching the job in spite of the what we say a sort of exploitation by the person under whom they are working. So that was the roti kapda makan phase, and the next came our phase. Probably we never had a problem where how our fathers and the elders faced that. So what our main motto was the comfort, life comfort. So buy new house, buy new car and all. And current trend, they are least bothered. Okay, so least bothered in the attitude has changed. They want their personal or say comfort zone. So if they feel that they are not comfort, they don't hesitate to switch the job. Of course, in our this thing also, I have seen few of my classmates and friends still beyond the age of 50, they keep on changing the job. That is secondary. But most of the youngsters, if you say, they never feel like sticking on to the particular company. So what he's telling is it is an attitude, and again to make them to comfort and stay back, it is really challenging. The solution of which again he is also not clear about. That is what he's saying. Then again we'll just see what is the skill in graduation. So to the surprise, in my view, there is nothing of that sort. That is a skill in the graduation learning. So generally, why I am telling this, if you just look into the dictionary meaning, what is skill basically? It is expertise of any subject matter or know-how about doing something physically. That is skill. So far, what we know, carpenter should have skill, welder should have skill, a barber should have skill, and then TV technicians and so forth people should have the skill. So in teaching, what is that skill about? So probably I think previously I have covered. So only thing they should know the subject in depth. That is what is the meaning of skill in this particular context. So engineering students need to correlate to what they learn and how it is important in their real life. So probably that link is missing. Of course, I don't say that everyone is not doing that. So most of us are doing, but again, making them to understand to their level and then feeling the importance of what they are learning is the really challenging and need of the hour for us to convince. Okay, that is what is the real meaning of that particular skill. I'll just share a few of my experience. So generally, whenever we teach, mine is a design arena and sometimes drawing also. So whenever we teach the width across the hexagonal nut, so I'll just show that this is one of the hexagonal nut which is used for temporary fastening of the some component. That is holding purpose, nut and bolt you might have heard of. So generally the width across flat, these are flats actually, this is F. This dimension is the diameter of this thing bolt plus 1.5 times diameter of the bolt plus 2 millimeter, 2-3 millimeter. They say why that 2-3 millimeter? Generally, most of us will just say that 2 to 3 millimeter because accuracy in the manufacturing and all probably. So if you just look into in depth, make them to feel generally this particular one second. This nuts are operated using a spanner actually. Okay, such kind of spanner probably all of us are aware of. So what happens? The spanner material is made of a harder material, which generally wearing will be very less. Okay, so the nut will be wearing. So what happens initially when the nut is new, you can comfortably tighten and loosen this particular nut bolt arrangement. Once it is worn out, what happens? There will be some slack in that. Probably that time spanner will not get adjusted. So what they do initially, they will make the width of this particular what you say the head of this nut so little larger, so that after some wear and tear of that particular nut material, so the spanner can able to be used further. Okay, so such kind of things probably we should make them to understand and then make the subject a little interesting. And further, this is again one more, of course, my this thing arena only. One sec, I think. 1 second. Only thing is sometime. So this is again one more example in the shaft. Actually, if you just look into the particular shaft, we have the what you say that fillet. Okay, so the some step turning is there. We give the fillet over here. I think most of the mechanical engineers also know that, but that is in the practical making. In the practical, there are a couple of reasons for making this curvature. So there is something called as a stress concentration, what happens that the force flow lines per unit area, there is going to be some sort of accumulation over here. Because of that, what happens, the crack will be propagating and suddenly it will fail. So this is one of the example, actually live example like that. Most of, if you take some hanger which is on the wall mounted and all, so you can notice wherever it breaks, wherever the sudden change of cross section and all, so that is going to be breaking. So such kind of things you can show to the students and then make them comfortable in their understanding. And again, this is one of the interesting this thing of my design basic design teaching, machine design teaching. So there is something called as factor of safety. So this factor of safety is design stress to the maximum the failure stress of that particular material. So student will not understand if I tell that basically. So what I do generally, I take this two very well-known motorcycles which students are really fond of, mechanical I'm talking about. So one is Royal Enfield and Hero Splendor, and I will not tell what is factor of safety. I'll go on asking what is your comment on this particular factor of safety on the weight. So what happens to the weight, and then what happens to the strength of the motorcycle and the cost of the motorcycle. So make them to think a little so that they automatically understand the concept, and concept are going to be little firm. So you need not have to make them to buy it or remember or whatever it may be. So this is through one of the teaching skill. Of course, what I'm telling is to my arena of expertise I'm telling. So individually you have to think and then make such a lot of exercise you need to make before taking in the class, so that students will understand the subject better. And we will just see some more importance of skill for engineers. Why skill is required? Ultimately, it is for the survival in the job position. If you don't have the skills, okay, so you will not survive. Probably software people are the first prey for this. Of course, when you complete some 6 to 8 years of your service in the software arena, suddenly there is going to be some new technology comes. Like recently this that Python or coding, something has come. So where earlier people, they were totally not aware of. If you don't learn that, so it is going to be little shaky for you. So if you are thorough with the fundamentals of the skills, what you have learned in that engineering, so again, what is a trading off with the new technology will not be any issue. And again, some people probably the one luckily I got one paper advertisement, paper news also. Sometimes what happens, you don't feel esteemed in the company. That is, whatever you are giving to the company, you are not paid for that. So you feel that demotivated, and others are getting paid well. Instead of doing all this, I am not doing that. So one just we will see. This is the story of one NK Akash from Kodagu, actually, basically Madikeri, that the district. Okay, so he was well off. He is basically a mechanical engineer, a lot of fascination to the automobiles and all. He was working very well in Bosch, actually. It is in Canada. Hope people other states may not able to. So I'll just narrate what is that. So it is on the 7th March, this particular news has come on Vijayawani, a local newspaper. So what he did, he left that actually company, Bosch, well-paid company, where he felt that there is no growth. So he wanted to do on his own. What he has done, so I think there is a lot of bugs in the electric car. So he started a small this thing only. I think it is a workshop, not even a company. So as of now, he has done some 6 to 8 vehicles and then given them to the this homestays, resorts and all in that particular area. Okay, so and again his grandpa challenged, whatever you have done, they are suitable only for the good roads. What about the farms and also, again, that also he took it as a challenge and then developed some of the agri equipments pertaining to the that application. So like that, if you are not having the self-esteem, feeling that you are not maintaining the self-esteem, and also if you have the skill, any moment of time you can just leave and then make yourself comfortable. And again, next is why skill is important. Again, ultimately, after some time, you may feel that why I should work for others, why can't I work for myself? That is to become an entrepreneur. For that also skill is required. And how do you get this particular idea of entrepreneur? I have some more videos. In fact, most of the videos what I am showing here, so these are showcased in a few of my class lectures. In fact, I happen to take, now I am not taking that. That is a management subject, one of the management entrepreneurship and then intellectual property rights. And myself and my colleague Dr. K.N. Patil, we happened to get trained from the college only 3 days workshop on intellectual property rights. After that, we thought, having gained so much knowledge, why can't we take that? Again, we just started taking. So most of the videos are of that era only. So just look into this particular video where a 13 years boy, okay, from Bombay, Mehta, he had a very brainstorming idea, and he coined that actually with the existing business. So just to see, there is no voice actually, simply that this words will come. You can able to go through, and I'll narrate quickly later. 13 years old Mumbai boy, he partnered with the Dabbawalas, launching a startup. Okay, so Mumbai is a Tilak Mehta. He's not like other kids of his age. At just 13 years old, he already a budding entrepreneur and has found a logistic startup. He also roped in the famed Dabbawalas to help him, and he started startup called Paper and Parcel. He is dedicated to carrying small parcels and documents in the local Bombay only, along with tiffins for an assured same day. Okay, probably Dabbawalas, So Dabbawalas, what they are doing, they are supplying food in the morning, and until evening they don't have any job. So this he could able to sense, why can't I use them? So he just, whatever idea he had, he coined and then started doing. So how did that idea struck him to? So let us see that. So one time he forgot some notes from his home, where he went to his uncle's place, and he was searching for a courier company which could able to take that notes from his house and then deliver. He could not able to find, and the moment he found it was a bit expensive, some 200 to 250 rupees they were charging. He thought of that idea and then came to a banker actually and convinced him whether he can able to take up and then be a CEO of that. And next he just went to Dabbawalas and convinced them, and then started a Paper and Parcels, and employed, you will be surprised, at the age of 13, 200 on his own, and then 1300, and they are doing delivery every day around 1200. So probably it is a brilliant idea. So sometime what happens, we should make students to get into such kind of social relevant problems, which that social relevant problem may not be directly from the society. Whatever they feel they are uncomfortable, the same thing can be taken, and then again they can be able to find the solution for that in a creative manner. So that is what is my ultimate saying. And again, there is one more here. I think couple of here. Sorry, one second. Inserting videos is a little bit challenging actually. To make this thing small number of this thing, that was a problem. Yeah, this is one more actually. This is actually narration is there. Narration is there. I just,
people dying because of snake bites is
it is actually on the snake bite. It is very simple concept which is been developed by one of the company. What they have done, snake biting is the biggest challenge, especially in agricultural sectors in Andhra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and all other states actually. So probably you may be knowing, farmers, they are hitting the ground with the stick whenever they walk actually. But when they are doing work in the farm, they can't do that activity. This is purely electronics related. Okay, some that signals they will be giving, and then through the signals, as we are aware, snakes are very introverted. So if they get any sound or something, they just run away from that. So this is only on that actually.
in almost every Indian village. But there is another side to it as well. The number of snakes that are killed by the villagers is also fairly large, even though 95% of them are harmless. Prasadam, an organization that works closely with farmers in rural areas, wanted to make a difference. One that could protect its farmers from snakes, while also ensuring the safety of the snakes. Most villagers, as a habit, carry a walking stick with them to the fields. We set out to turn it into something extraordinary. The snake gun, an ultrasonic solar-powered snake repellent which looks and works exactly like the walking stick carried by the villagers. All the farmers have to do is carry the snake guard with them to the field and insert it firmly into the ground. The device then sends out a burst of sonic waves every 40 seconds, which the snakes consider as a danger sign, hence keeping an area of up to 15 meters around the snake guard safe for the villagers as well as the snakes.
ಎಂತ ಬಡವನು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಅವನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Powered by a solar battery, the snake guard is an easy-to-use, economical, and extremely effective option for the villagers. This simple yet unique creation has been distributed amongst farmers in villages across Karnataka and Maharashtra to guard hundreds of lives and snakes too.
Okay, actually, basically, this is Prasadam one company, so they could able to sense the problem and then could able to resolve that. So probably I don't know how many of you are feeling why I'm showing this. Ultimately, the problems are just around us. Only thing we should able to look into and then convert them into technological sort of solutions and then make yourself entrepreneur. This is what we should able to convey to our students. That is what is my ultimate. And I have a few more slides and probably I'll just skip upon. So a lot many ideas you will get, and again this is one of the this thing what you say aero this thing drone sort of, so they are using for the agricultural purpose. In fact, why I'm telling, we had that actually aero club in our college, and this was my dream project actually. However, I could not be able to do that much, and you will get lot of ideas of your day to day, so you should tell the students and then showcase them through their whatever subject they are learning, and then make them entrepreneur or at least sow a seed in them. And again, how to enhance engineering skill during student phase. Okay, again, whatever I have told, again it will be repetitive. Always create an eagerness among students so as to learn with passion, not with the pressure. Probably this is what we are missing actually, because why I'm telling, when I joined this institute without any what you say much of the teaching experience, I came from industry. I know the importance, what will be the effect if you don't know the particular subjects. And again, probably maybe again some impression from my teachers who were also little what you say very much particular towards the academics. So I was just pressurizing students attend regularly and then be what you say calm in the class and all that, which never worked actually. Still, it is a $1 billion question whether I should switch to the conventional or the new this thing. So again, we have to do mix actually. So make them to motivate actually, okay, by what you say, they should be feel fond of actually learning the subject and create some sort of what to say enthusiasm, like ask within, why ask them to again why this is like this, why it is like this, how it is like, when it is, and then where, what. This is called as 4W1H. In fact, whatever that VLC I told, it is one of the prime this thing learning. So I just find through that one only whatever I have learned. And again, encourage them to create their own working and learning models to understand the subject thoroughly. I think tell them lot of stuff is also available on the YouTube website, rather than saying this other unnecessary things. Ask them to go through them and then make their own model. And then again, there are other similar websites, howstuffworks.com, and then online NPTEL. So we should be able to make them aware. And again, I would like to recall one of my colleague, actually senior colleague, Dr. Gopal Krishna Kamalapur sir, who is doing this actually. He is a faculty from electrical engineering. Every year what he takes a first year class, he creates enthusiasm amongst the students by giving them some circuit sort of. The students should able to learn on their own and then develop something and then showcase it as a product actually. So he is doing that successfully. And again, it is one of the best what you say best teaching method, you can say, okay, beyond this thing, your curriculum. So like that, you should inculcate and then make students learn through the skills. And then again, motivate them to participate in internship during vacation or part-time during college working time. Of course, this was not a compulsion actually earlier, but now luckily that AICT has felt that they have to do. In spite of that, I have my own reservation. How many of them are doing really what you say, going to the industry and then making whatever task given by the industry? They go and then get the certificates. I'm sorry, it is ironic happening across actually. But what you need to do, your personal involvement is again very much what you say, a sort of gaining win-win situation in this. So I have one recently, I think other day, we have one industry nearby. So HR himself came actually to give the certificates to 5 or 6 of the students whom we have deputed from our department. In fact, students were also, initially they were really reluctant when they told that this whatever project you are going to do, it is going to be value added for the industry actually. Believe it or not, this whatever they have done, it is the core that work that their industry people, the HR people were supposed to do. They did all photography and then narration of the processes. Those who will be joining the industry, for them, it is just a learning module. So they did that, and companies, that HR was so much thrilled and then happy. He came all the way just to give the certificates at our institute only. So this is what we should able to convey them, motivate them, and then try to make them. And again, you also can motivate students to participate in techno-cultural events, and then some group discussion, and then plus again you should have the passion actually, mentor them, guide them, if not encourage them to choose online mentors. Nowadays everything is online. You also get some people, those who are online through some of the websites. So this is how, and we will just see why this entrepreneur skill and all basically, and then who is the entrepreneur basically. If you just look who is an entrepreneur, Webster dictionary says one who organizes, manages and assumes the risk of business. So that to the person who has this all capability qualities, we call him as an entrepreneur basically. And why this business is changing from the traditional to the entrepreneurship, that also we'll see. We have seen earlier, but again this is one of the reason. Again, during past 100 years, small and efficient manageable companies have become very large unmanageable. Probably I don't know how many of you can able to agree with me. A few years back, Infosys and some TCS, they have started. I think after some 7 to 10 years of working experience, people start feeling stagnant. That is, they feel that there is no growth in that company. They have some more ideas where company is not ready to accept what to do with that. So they were leaving the job and doing some startup outside. So companies felt and sensed that what they do, they requested them not to leave the company and do whatever they wanted to do within the company only, and then showcase that particular outcome of that to the particular that organization only. I think Steve Jobs was the first person who successfully did that. That is iPhone. So if you just look into that, they have different segments. That is software developing, one particular team will be there, and of course I had that video also. It's a bit lengthy interview, I could not able to show it here, but I'll narrate that. And again, that hardware people, and then again the product development people, the marketing people, everyone is a different entity only, but they work for that particular Apple organization within that particular only, and then they are now even leaving the organization also. That is how it is going to happening. And this particular scenario, few people sensed that, and then they jumped upon the entrepreneur, to become an entrepreneur. Okay, so that corporate crash was inevitable. Of course, now it is not fully, but if you can able to see, there are a lot of startups coming across that various segments of the industry, not only in software but in mechanical also it is happening, and other arena also it is happening. And we will just see, to be an entrepreneur, one has to be smarter actually. I'll just skip upon this. So it is basically two people. I'll just narrate. They graduated from the same year. One is Lucas, and another one is some name you can take. Okay, Stephen, something like that. Lucas, positive attitude and positive thing you take, and another person you take as some negative. So both of them graduated same year, got the same company, and then they started doing the job. And then Lucas got a promotion suddenly, and then this Stephen, he got little embarrassed. We joined together and we were classmates and same institute, same organization, same task also. Okay, how come he got that? So basically, Lucas, that one assignment was given, that watermelon, this thing. So that boss tells them that which is totally irrelevant to the organization for which they are working. Go and ask somebody selling the watermelons. We will jump upon to the new venture of selling those watermelons or fruit juices and gather some information. So whatever was told, that Stephen, the negative attitude person, he went and did the postal service. Okay, that Lucas, who was the positive attitude, he gathered all the information. that is what is the cost of that, from where he gets, what is his percentage, if at all we buy, what will be the profit margin, everything he has put in the Excel sheet and then presented. Probably our teaching is lacking in this particular. We are not making them as an individual identity. Of course, people may laugh at the other end what I'm telling, but over a period of experience, what I'm noticing, sometimes I also feel I can't able to accommodate this. Thanks to COVID, most of the things, whatever my intention was there, I started switching to the evening classes and then trying to do. In fact, most of my colleagues also telling, how can you do this? And it is not possible to satisfy all whoever there in the class. Just 30 to 40% of students will be having interest. Only you can trigger them, you can motivate them, and then serve to the purpose. And next, going to that, to be a entrepreneur, what are the skills required? If you just go to that, any of this thing, these are the very prime skills required. So problem solving skill, one should have resilience, that is capability to recover back from difficult times. You should have that also, guts to face and then not to run away, and ability to learn, ability to listen and persuasiveness, convincing, and ability to build relationship, very important. Most of the people we see, if they are arrogant, they can't able to sustain. Most of the hotels and again some service industry, you can notice that they start, and because of their attitude they just vanish out of that. And then financial management, technological literacy, business acumen, that is they should think business as a big, actually not as a small entity, and look at each and every corner of that. So considering all this, what I have noticed is skill is the dominant skill, observation skill is the dominant one. That is, one should able to look into the scenario and then understand that and then try to find out some solutions. So quickly, it is almost nearing half of the session. I have some more slides. So quickly we'll go through some of the things. Observation skill. Prior to that, observation skills are basically you can able to grasp them from your five senses and just noting the facts. Most of the time, what we do, we observe and then try to put our views on that and then try to change the scenario. Most of the times you notice, okay, I observe, but again what happens, I try to make my own comments on that without knowing the facts. So this is also one of the very a problematic scenario only. Prior to that, I would like to showcase this. Actually, I was lucky. I was a part of this Visionary Learning Community of India, that is VLCI, where I'm standing in the front row. In fact, it is I told it is a 3 belt. One is a black belt, green belt, and person standing on the backside are white belt. Okay, so I was happy actually. That is, I had this training session with my teacher who taught me in undergraduate in this institute. Of course, he's retired now. So it was a 1 year long program. And again, consequence of this, I tell you, this particular set of learning, that is industry relevant learning, it was coined by Soji Shiba of Japan, actually, who is a MIT professor. And through him, there's Furuhashi-san, one more Furuhashi-san, the Japanese only, he learned and then he was practicing that in Japan. Sometimes back, of course, it was Abdul Kalam, prior to becoming a president, Abdul Kalam ji, he went to Japan for one of his tasks, actually, that space research organization task, and he was surprised to see the collaboration of that activity which were happening in Japan. He asked how you are going to do that. Then they told this is one of the new technique where Soji Shiba sir has told, and we are practicing. And immediately Abdul Kalam ji requested Furuhashi-san and Soji Shiba together, why can't you come and train Indian context? That was also ISRO. So probably much of us don't know that about this particular scenario, and that Japanese people came and then trained ISRO. When Abdul Kalam ji became president, he invited Soji Shiba and then requested to coin this idea to the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, okay, and then teach our industry people so that they should go ahead. Then again, what happened? Industry, that CII, what they told, if we only practice, it is of no use. They should go to the college academics level. That is how we were selected, actually, deputed from the institute, and then did that. So quickly I will show. So this is Saidi Pratnam, who is a grandson of Sir M. Vishwesharaya, Mokshagundam Vishwesharaya. He is a IIM Bangalore faculty, adjunct faculty. So he was also part of that. And this is CS Patel, that is Anand Group then Vice President. So this is the Professor Furuhashi-san. The Japanese, we were lucky, we were trained by through him only, Furuhashi-san, and sometimes Saidi Pratnam and C.S. Patel also came, but most of the time it is Professor Furuhashi-san of Japan only we were trained, and this is Anand Deshpande. So then time he was the principal of Gogte Institute. This happened in GIT actually, GIT premises, and now he is a registrar evaluation VTU, and this is Nilesh Chowgle, who is again an entrepreneur from Belgium, who was coordinating all this activity. Okay, so this is my certification of this thing, and observation skill test is there. So quickly, I'll just give the 2-3 minutes of time. This is one of the tasks which was taught in our course of VLCI. So this I'm practicing, and then again I'm making students little serious, at least from 4 to 5 in the class. Okay, so again you need to make them little aware. So this, whenever that batch is some disturbing, generally I keep on showing this and then make them little attentive, so that to drag towards that. So I request all the participants, this can also be some sort of test also. Please go through this picture for 2 minutes, and then we will have some 3 to 4 questions. Quickly you can answer them through your messaging. Okay, Gmeet messaging. So please go through that. I'll count 10. Till then you observe that and make observations. That's all. After that you will have some questions. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'll just switch on this. So what you need to do, you need to observe this. There will be some questions pertaining to this particular picture only. Hope this picture is visible, Ganesh sir. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So first question, are there car parked on the side of the road? The first question, you can chat. I'll just read once again and then go to, are there cars parked on the sides of the road? You should say yes or no, whatever observation you have done. The next one question, what color is the pickup truck driving in the road? Okay, on the road it should be. Okay, what color is the pickup truck? Okay, pickup van, what is the color of that? You should able to name that. Next question, any minivans around, that small that cars around, are there in that particular or no? You should able to tell yes or no. And what does the blue sign say? There was some sign also. What was that saying about? You should able to. And what is the speed limit? That also you should able to say that. And are there any pedestrians, that is people walking on the road? So you should able to yes or no. Okay, so have a look. Make yourself, I don't know, I was little running behind because that hardly left out is half an hour, and I'm still at some mid of my this thing. So some more interesting slides are there. So I'm just running. So just see, I'll just showcase the answers with that. Are there any cars parked on that this thing pedestrian sideway? Okay, so that answer is yes. And then pickup van color, it was blue. And then minivans, yes, there were some minivans. And what was the sign? So it was yard sale. Okay, and what is the speed limit? It was 35 miles per hour. So that observation, most of the time what happens, we simply see without giving much attention, and then we try to interpret also. So let us not do that. Okay, are there any pedestrians? No pedestrians, that is no people were walking on that. So it is a very simple. So try to make yourself comfortable by making such kind of activities in the class, so that to drag the attention of the students and then make them to learn. And I have some success stories over here. I'll just showcase them. One of the success stories is Nihal Revankar. That is a 2016 graduate. I think mouse some issue. Okay, I'll just showcase this. Hope I can you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Just listen to him. I'll just narrate.
Studying in STM CET. So friends, as we know, there is wastage of energy in almost every field. We find wastage of energy in electricity, in heat energy. So conservation of energy is done just by simple alteration in the So the alterations are, this is the normal aluminum coil, which is the hollow one. and we have here inlet, and this one is the outlet. Through inlet, we pass normal tap water, which is the cold water. So how this works is that when we switch on this gas and when we are cooking food, the aluminum coil gets heated up. So which in turn heats the water present inside, and we get the hot water from this side. So you are passing cold water from this inlet, and you are getting hot water from this. So simultaneously, you are doing two works. You are heating the water as well as you are cooking the food. It costed me around 200 to 250 rupees. I want this project to be commercially manufactured. I want this to be implemented in each and every houses. Why?
1 second. I think I need to exit from. Yeah, it is actually Nihal Revankar, one of my student, actually undergraduate student who is an entrepreneur now. So I'm success story I have come to almost at the end only. In fact, I was coordinating this leadership acceleration development program, which is sponsored by Deshpande Foundation of Hubli. So they were doing that such kind of activity earlier, but now I think there is no much involvement in with our institute as per my knowledge. So this Nihal Revankar, the one of the challenge was socially relevant challenge he should able to showcase. So he was a member of that lead team where I was what you say holding a program coordination this thing responsibility, and he came with an idea. So why can't, sir, can we able to do that? So I just gave him a little solution, and he could able to win in this particular context. Okay, so in fact it is 2016 he graduated. Prior to that, I think some 14 or 13 it may be, yeah. 13 he could able to get a prize of 3,000 rupees. Later when he came to the final year, so I think this is one more, he got this thing, okay, from the same Deshpande Foundation only. He find an idea, actually, Your Majesty. That idea was what you say, whatever is that what you say, anytime anywhere service, like courier service, you can say, logistic service basically. And he was surprised to say, in fact, he got a cash prize of 3 lakh rupees and got a second place amongst 530 participants actually, and with one of his friend, actually Pawan Patil from KLIT. So this is Sankalp, right person standing on the right hand, extreme right hand side with beard, is a director of Sankalp Semiconductors. I think now TCS has bought that. Actually, they got this one. They were the what you say judges in that particular. He got selected for that, and then again. So from there, his journey of entrepreneur sort of thing has what is started. When he was in a third semester, he could able to win that gas stove. And when he was in a seventh semester, yeah, it was in a seventh semester. When he was in a seventh semester, he could able to win this eighth semester, not seventh, eighth semester, final year. So he could able to win this. From there, he thought of he can able to become a good entrepreneur. Then what happened actually? So he got selected actually TCS, but he could not able to take up. He's basically from Karwar middle class family. His father is a goldsmith or something. So he told, sir, I don't want to join the organization because I have some more idea to start up. Okay, so what is the startup idea? We'll just see through this video. This is actually, I'll just narrate that this is a dust cleaning equipment of solar panels. Solar panels, you know, whenever you put them on the rooftop or somewhere, there is going to be a lot of dust problem. Okay, this dust, when it accumulates over the solar panel, what happens? The efficiency of the solar panel will go. And currently, what they are doing with the water, with some labor, mechanical, this thing sort of activity, they are cleaning them, which is very much what you say, a sort of a tedious task and water loss, and again time consuming. This he has taken it as a one particular challenge, and then started solving this particular. I'll just run that this thing video. So this is how currently they are doing actually with water, and this is what they have come up with. You know, he has developed a robot actually, wherein there is no water. Okay, it is a microfibers, and it is a what you say, no personal listening attention. Only it's a remote actually, through remote robot he has developed. And again, he won a lot of prizes for this in Russia, Korea also. That South Indian this thing he won. And in fact, we also what you say funded him through our ITBT cell, and later what happened, he moved to Gurgaon actually, that Noida, not Gurgaon, Noida, because Tata technology, Tata social this thing responsibility, some organization is there, they have funded him and then asked him to do that this thing service. Just to make you comfortable whether my involvement was there or not, one more video from him only, where he has clearly narrated. This is current Nihal Revankar. Done. In fact, that was his message actually. So in fact, we sponsored from ITBT cell of our college also. So now is, and another couple of these things are there that Praveen Pillai actually, quickly I will cover. So Praveen Pillai is a 2012 graduate, 2010 graduate, and there was a lot of what you say, a sort of that student was very good actually academically, and I brought him actually to the college sometime, and then made him to make faculty also. Okay, through of course he was capable actually, and he could not able to sustain in our college. Just on 1 year, after 1 year, he told, "Sir, I am not feeling comfortable. I want to leave." And to my surprise, he has become an international photographer now. This is one of the assignment given to him from central government actually. I was surprised actually to know this. I gathered the information, and to make you, in fact, I am running. Okay, so this is one of the project he has done. I think his name is there somewhere here only. Yeah, a film by Praveen Pillai. Okay, so this is one of my student actually, who has I think left the conventional this thing and then become. So this is the one this thing actually, just to showcase that I have, it is my this thing. What is the involvement in a community site? He has put even applications on opportunities in computational fluid dynamics. After undergraduation, he did masters from BVB and then did a project at IISc Bangalore on CFD. So looking all his what is the expertise, we brought him here. I just introduced to my colleagues and then head of department that this guy is really good. Why can't we hire him? So it happened actually, but he could not able to sustain because again it was a passion. So this is again one of my success story I would like to say. And another one is Samir Mutalik Desai. Quickly, this is very important. Samir Mutalik Desai. I'll just quickly glance through. So he is our alumnus again, 2008 mechanical alumnus only. In fact, he got selected in after graduation in Infosys and then served there. In between, I don't know what impression I made him. He was in touch with me. And he was telling, "Sir, I'm feeling little what you say, stagnant in my profession, and I want to leave the job." So I just told him what is the reason. He told, "I have some ideas." This thing. I just told him, if that is the case, if you want to become an entrepreneur, gain the knowledge, you pursue MBA something. And I told him, if at all you want to do MBA, do it in a very good institute, reputed. So he went to Bangalore, Bangalore Institute, that is MBA, IIM Bangalore, Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and then there he happened to know one executive program is there, but only problem with that is you should able to have some expertise or some knowledge about the entrepreneurship. Then only they give the this thing, what you say, admission for that. Then he came with an idea that he want to leave the job and then do the MBA and then parallelly do this one idea, this thing. Okay, believe it or not, it was sometime 2013. Around that one only, he came to Dharwad. He's from Dharwad only, and he met me in the market. We never had even place to sit, where to sit. It was really interesting. We sat on the Kalabon, okay, steps of the Kalabon, and then have a discussion. And then I told him that I'll support through our alumni association, and then we gave him a T-shirt. It was the idea of his only to make T-shirts, funky T-shirts, and then sell them across. So we gave around 1,000 T-shirts from our alumni association, thanks to alumni office bearers, Professor Parvati, and then Dr. Joshi sir and others also, Gopinath sir also. To allow Samir to supply, and later he supplied again the media or SDM media. Then later it was no look back for him. And again, he started one more brand 2014, that is Kannada, making the apparel in the Kannada language, Heme Kannadiga. And that biggest lesson was from out of that is marketing is connection with the end customer. So people, I think lot of people were telling I am Kannadiga. So he used that and then made that Garvadinda Garjisu Nanu Heme Kannadiga Nindu. So this is what he has done. So if you may be surprised actually. 2014 he could able to start the company with only 14 people and the turnover was 2 crores. I was surprised actually. And the T-shirt in Amazon and all other this thing apps he's started selling more than 1 lakh. Okay, so this is what it is, one more success story. And some news also came on the new media also, like TV. I think I have that BTV, and then again some magazines, that newspaper magazines. So these were some of the T-shirts. Probably people from Bangalore you could have seen this. ಏನ್ ನಿನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ದಮ್ ಬೇಕಲೆ, ಸೊ ಗಂಜಾಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. These were all done by our alumnus only. So some of the T-shirts. After that, he ventured into digital marketing also, and I'm happy to share that he did a digital marketing of Rajkumar film. Of course, Rajkumar it was a Puneet Rajkumar's film, I think marketed by Samir Mutalik, and then which is that one more film of Ramesh Arvind, I think Pushpak Vimana, that is also digital marketing done by Samir Mutalik only. So after that, again, he left the company Bosch 2016 and he ventured into full-time business. Through the hard work, he started Pebble Connect. And then again, digital marketing, knowing his ability, we just called through our alumni association to train our students. Some MBA students got trained from our college, that started from our college only, again from alma mater. Digital marketing, so far he has taught more than 300 students and then 6 different colleges. And again, some more thing. So with this, he has ended. This is his presentation only because I have invited him for our alumni meet and then ask him to make what is the impression of alumni association. So these hoodies were also done by him only and then supplied in our cooperative store. So this is Samir Mutalik Desai, and quickly I'll just share his this thing video. This is a BTV. So just to make him that he has appeared. Okay, so I think somewhere here.
ಕನ್ನಡ ರಾಜ್ಯೋತ್ಸವ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಲಾರದೆ ಇಡೀ ವರ್ಷ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ವಿದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಲ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಟಿ ಶರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಧರಿಸಬಾರ್ದು ಜನ ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಡಿಸೈನ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಈಗ ಫಂಕಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟಿ ಶರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಸರಿ ಬಿಡು.
So whatever I told, that is what it is. Okay, so that is Samir Mutal. Similarly, I have some more Vikas Utigikar, who is actually dropout. In fact, I feel most of the time, probably my harsh treatment with students, whether it has made him a dropout. Like Vikas Utigikar is a mechanical basically, and then that Nexus 3D he has started in Hubli, Deshpande Foundation on the 3D printing. So that is amalgamating end users and then bringing them on a common platform and then supplying. So that startup has been done by Vikas Utigikar. He is also our alumnus. And then again, these are some success stories. And again, coming back, how we can align and motivate students through academics, that also we will just see quickly. In fact, I'm happy to share that during 2009, it was the first time our interaction with the industry. I convinced the local industry, where I think other this thing slide I had shown the current HR. So this was the first of its kind from our college, from non-IT branches. That is, this was a paid internship. Paid means company paid students actually 5,000 per month, which was really, what you say, motivating me. Why it is motivating? The person sitting on the lower row, on the extreme left, okay, that white chap. So he's Moinuddin, actually from Davangere. His mother actually came in one of the parent meet, and then requested Moin to introduce me. Actually, she came and then started weeping actually with a what you say, joyful tears. The reason was, I think it was some 3 months internship that Moin, he saved all 15,000 and donated a golden ring to his mother as his first what you say, earning. Okay, so she was so happy. Probably such kind of things will motivate you to venture into the more teaching and then making students motivated for further this thing. Okay, this is one of the success story. And again, another one is Hayat remover. I think people in Dharwad, Hubli Dharwad, they may be knowing there is a lot of cactus growing on the lakes, actually, Unakal Lake. So that was burning in my mind, and I happened to discuss with a few of my colleagues and my friends as well. One of my friend who is a KLIT Hubli head of the department, who happens to be a PhD holder from IIT Chennai, from that is marine engineering. So we discussed and then thought of again doing something, but it was a COVID time. We could not able to do later. I think he wrote a proposal, I think. So again, there was a lot of problem. He was telling government they were not ready to give any money. They were asking some expertise, this, that, and all. He also fed up actually. So this is one of this thing from my success story. And again, one more. This is Agri Machine, which I don't want to disclose much upon this, because this is one of the farmer from the coastal belt of our Karnataka only. He was struggling to develop one of the Agri Machine actually. Since 23 years. Okay, he's actually school dropout and agriculturist basically. So, but he has some sort of skill actually. Okay, trying to make some useful machines and all kind of things since his this thing. Now he's 60 plus, and he was developing this machine since 23 years, and totally he was fed up actually. Okay, so I think I have to encircle and then show it to you so that. So fifth point, okay, fifth point, I think my contact with him is just two years prior to COVID. I could able to get through one of my friend actually. So I was just looking such kind of opportunities where he just told they are unable to get. I just went and then saw what is the problem. He gave some solution, and this is a final what you say, a sort of his expression. Since 2 years we are in touch with, in spite of corona we could not able to meet on a regular basis, but the suggestions gave by them could able to make me that product success. I have put this also on in my college what you say, our group actually. So that is also one of my success story. And next are going to be self skill enhancement and networking. I'll just showcase them, and some unsuccessful stories. So within that, I hope I can able to complete that. So one of my self this thing growth. It is not that you only should tell students to grow. Parallelly, you should also escalate yourself in the knowledge. So this is, I was lucky actually. Previous principal, Dr. Vankudre sir, and then our management. So they allowed me to participate this medical hackathon. Okay, this is at every year it will be held at IIT Bombay, and one Dr. B. Ravi is heading that actually. It is not that the way how you are participating on this STTP, that short-term program, or that refresher course. It is not like that. You should send your resume, they shortlist and then select you. So it is on the win-win situation. I was lucky actually get selected during 2019 on the medical device hackathon. So what they are doing is a 5 days event. They train you and give you the problem, ask you to find out the solution. Okay, that is how it is. And this is Dr. B. Ravi. Sorry, don't again point out to me that I am portraying on the left-hand side. Prime Minister of India. I think this presentation was done well before the results what were declared in Pancharajya. Okay, I'm not portraying any party. Okay, this white color shirt is Dr. B. Ravi, and the person standing side by is Dr. Rupesh Gair, who is the right hand of B. Ravi. In fact, it was very difficult. I think some disturbance, please. Hello, somebody. I'm getting this. Yeah. So Dr. B. Ravi actually, in fact, he was kind enough to accommodate me. In fact, some time back, he visited our college and we had a discussion. And he told, "Why can't you come sometime?" He has invited, but however, it was not possible. So he just helped me. And to my surprise, actually, they make a group actually. So it was some 90 people have come across India, all doctors, electrical engineers, electronic engineers, mechanical engineers, and some even carpenters, believe it or not, some carpenters, of course, from the some they're planning school of planning, I think, some from that, some carpenters were there, and other some institutes. So we had four members in a team. The person who is declaring, he is Lukesh Buyar. Okay, so he's from Bombay. The next person is Professor Vishwanathan Rauri from Kakinada College of Engineering. His expertise is electronics engineering. Buyar is actually I think bone specialist. Yeah, bone specialist. And Rauri is electronics. The next person is James Varghese from Calicut University. He's again mechanical stream, and the person standing last is myself. My role was design, the product design, concept design, and then making it to work. So, and then James, this thing was manufacturing and electronic part and all circuit, everything was Vishwanathan, and then Buyar, he should able to give us the importance. What we did is lung volume measurement. So this lung volume measurement is basically it gives I think we have the SO2 measurement, no, oxygen measurement watches and all, they are coming. But actually during the COVID time, so the product was, I think I came to know that they further IIT Bombay, they developed whatever solution we had given and then brought it to the market. What I heard actually, it gives the size of your lung and then gives some, what you say, how much patient has affected and all. Currently what they are doing, they do X-ray and CMR and then body mass index they do and try to do that. So they wanted a equipment where it can be used. There is a solution currently, but they wanted a better solution. That is what the task was given. And this is what that one Pratham was our mentor, who is a junior actually MTech guy, who is from IDC Bombay, that BTech Bombay only. So the training was given, and we had whatever query we had, a discussion was there. And this is our product actually. I'll just showcase this. Just look into that on the left hand side video. This is my earlier laptop only. The product was given as Ashwas actually from our team. You can able to see some graphs actually. This is Lukesh Buyar, who is putting that mask sort of thing to his nose. Okay, just by breathing, you will get the total volume of your lung. How much is the volume, how much you are pumping and how much you are exhaling. So that you can able to do. We developed that product within 5 days. Believe it, we had hardly 2 or 3 days had a proper sleep. And the last 2 days we hardly slept only, because everything we had to do. And beauty is that they will give all the support, like any equipment, any sort of thing. So I was a part of this particular and could able to make myself comfortable. And from there only, and one more is Adarsh K. I think he's from Shivamogga. Why I'm portraying again? He's from Shivamogga. Basically, he was there with the GE Appliances. He left his job, joined BTech Bombay, and then developed this stethoscope. The beauty of this stethoscope is actually the doctor who is in a remote place, he can able to sense and diagnose the problem of the heart pertaining to the patient, because this is a small box actually which is having a circuitry and all. So whatever the data is there, that data will be stored in the chip form, and later that data can be sent across in the soft form. Either you can send it through the WhatsApp or email attachment or whatever. So you can able to do that. So this was developed by these people. He and I don't remember the other person, Girish, I think. Yeah, Girish from Madhya Pradesh, and this is from Karnataka. Both were GE employees and then left the job. Started this particular venture in IIT Bombay premises only. And recently, I was surprised to know they won the best product award in Switzerland also. So this is one of the success story what I have come across. And one more important only, after this I think I'll jump to conclusion. Excuse me, I will be taking a little 5 minutes more with permission of the organizers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is one more Anish Karma. Actually, he is a PUC dropout actually from UP. Okay, he himself is a polio person. So he had a lot of this thing, because I had to debate with him, because I found him very interesting. Thus, he has brought a very simple, solution Even though he's a dropout, he developed this particular product, knee ankle foot orthosis this thing solution in IIT Bombay premises only, through that medic this thing only. So I am just showcasing this whatever he has done, so that it may be interesting for you as well.
Mechanically actuated knee ankle foot orthosis or MSCAFO is an orthotic device that allows patients with weak knees, due to reasons ranging from polio to injury, to walk with a natural gait. Knee joint mechanism is compact to avoid damage to user's skin and clothes. Enough with the theory, let's see the MSCAFO in action.
So what he has done is, actually I asked him how could he able to did this particular idea. It is a simple mechanism, actually ratchet wheel mechanism he has developed and patented also, and then he is manufacturing and then selling them across. He also got a lot of funding from other ventures actually, and he told every day he used to feel little irritating because being a polio patient and then routine activities, so that was burning in his mind, that helped him to develop this particular product. Okay, this is what is Anish Karma. Actually, he is an inspiration. Actually, looking all such people, we should also get motivated ourselves first. When we impart knowledge to our students and tell them do that, do this, so we should able to be the bridge actually. So in fact, he was surprised. He is in touch with me with his personal number also, and I exchange a lot of things. How some motivational, any new developments? How, can I become a part of your this thing problem? This thing. You are searching for, so like that you should able to generate. Okay, so again another thing is networking. So that is also one of the important parameter in as a teacher, you should network actually. So some of the examples, it is not that you tell only inside of the class, but outside people also you should network ultimately to escalate yourself, elevate yourself, and then help your current students. So this is one of the recent story which I would like to share. One of our alumnus, Rajesh, but who is in who was in Bombay and currently is in Mangalore, I suppose, 1992 Mac alumnus, and he is a Bajrangi Bhaijaan producer. Most of us may not be knowing actually. He is in touch with me. So the person who is sitting on the left hand side, this information is shared prior to COVID actually. So he started doing one more new film with Amitabh Bachchan actually. So then I knew that he is a potential person in the Bajrangi Bhaijaan. And one more alumnus, Samarth Nayak from CSC department from 2003. He also, after his graduation, he did MBA, and then finally, he ventured into some film land actually. Of course, he was doing some advertisements actually, and then films. Recently, one of his film, Moksha, it was released on 4th, this thing. Believe it or not, he was such a busy person. I got this information through one of our instructor, that is Kamath, Gurudat Kamath, who happens to be instructor in our mechanical department. Sir, you nam alumnus nodri. So I took his number and then called him, introduced myself. In fact, when I wanted to connect with Rajesh, he was so happy that, sir, thanks a lot, because we want people of our own actually, so that connectivity will be there. So like that, one can also explore that. And some interesting kickbacks also quickly I will just glance some, and bad experiences, because all the time I wanted to keep everything on the ground reality, not to showcase. It is not that all time you will have the success story. It is sometime 2000 I think 17 only. One Sagar Shettar, he was working in Qatar actually, one company called Click Qatar. He is a 2007 graduate. When I took over a charge as a placement, this thing for non-IT, I was searching my alumnus where they are working and all. And Sagar Shettar, I requested, he told, sir, actually that in Click Qatar, he was given some other assignment, like internal manpower supplier, some task was given to him. So in that context, he just requested, sir, can you able to give some good students, not academically strong, but good attitude students, people, those who can able to take the task. And I think we had an interview also, and some 30 people attended. Out of that, some 3 only got selected. One told he can't go Qatar. And out of that, Prashant is from Ramdurg actually. Currently, he is with SBI. He was very smart. He told, sir, I have some problem with my visa, passport and all. He just vanished. And this Kailash D, he joined actually. And after 3 months, he left that organization. I was surprised actually. And then Sagar has to call me back. Sir, you just requested, take this guy, he's good, and he has vanished. And very recently, I came to know that this Kailash has become a film actor. Okay, this is again one more kickback story, because what sometimes you do for the better, and some people will not get adjust to, and you have to get some a sort of name also. So this is a Kailash who is doing in the TV serial, that is Sri Siddlingeshwara, as a second hero. So he is also our alumnus. I don't know, someday he may become star. That time I may have to change my slide as well. And another one is very recent, 2000, I think 19, during COVID only. Another one of my students, Johnson Fernandez, who is the managing director of Elite Engineering in Kuwait, who requested me to give some good candidates and wanted to work as a partner actually. So I just made an all arrangement. One I don't want to disclose because he's a recent passed out. Srinidhi, I'll tell the name only. Srinidhi. I just we had an online interview during COVID times. I think the central woman is a HR. The left side bottom is the technical consultant, and Johnson is on the right hand side top, and the person Srinidhi is on the left hand top left hand, and bottom is myself. We had a 1.5 hour interview, and then they selected him, and he told yes, he will join. And 1 week he was totally abscond only, and after 1 week his father came telling that, sir, I'm obne magari, how can we send him abroad? That also a country like Kuwait, a lot of issues are there, this, that. So this is again such kind of things you may also face. I guess somehow I could able to come out of that, but again, some other these things will also come into picture, like government policies. This is one of the, again, 8th March this thing newspaper, that is that startup this thing culture is going down. So this is one of the this thing reason. Probably most of the people are feeling comfortable in the agriculture. That may be this thing. So this changing scenarios are also challenges again to make people motivated towards the entrepreneurs. So we should look into that. Okay. And again, one more thing, what I would like to say, one more, I think I have developed Nihal Revnkar, I think with a bigger pardon with all organizers. I got an office note that all accounts were not properly settled. You give that. So such kind of challenges also one will get in case if you are into that particular arena, but somehow you have to adjust. So I'll just conclude upon, so entrepreneurship can be cultivated rather than cultivated. That idea of this thing, entrepreneurship can be sowed as a seed through academics only, in my purview. And one need to be thorough in the subject handling and then make a strategic planning so that there will be at least a few students who will get motivated. You can't make all of them are entrepreneur. If you just look into any of the top MIT something, so hardly some few finger counting are there. So if you can able to do, that is the justification for your whatever the task this thing that you can do. And in my view, of course, thinking that those who are in the mid band of experience, teaching experience, you may be under confusion, big confusion, what to do, whether to venture into the teaching. But now the focus is different actually. So in my view, please focus on the academics only until and unless you become firm in one or couple of subjects what you are handling, and don't venture into any other task in non-academic. Of course, sometime you may not be agreeing. Some institute they insist you, some of your faculty will institute. Sometime you should find a strategic plan and then make yourself comfortable ultimately, because if you have the stuff, if you have the knowledge, then only you can command and you can motivate your students through your academics. That is what my conclusion. And again, you need to interact with the nearby industries. We did a lot of exercise. It has not come over a period of time actually. And again, alumni entrepreneurs, you should identify, get them, ask them to give their success stories, make motivation. This I am doing regularly actually, irrespective of my subject. Sometimes I keep myself this thing so that students, you should make students little serious. So this is how I am doing, and it has given success also in my view. And again, you need to network with people, build your own rapport, and then be a self role model. So don't try to copy others. In my view, I have expressed that if I have harshly touched upon anybody, it is not intentionally, it is over my what do you say, sort of experiences I have shared upon. So with this, I end up my presentation or sharing of I acknowledgements. I would like to thank management, principal, SDM CET, and our head of department, mechanical engineering department of our own institute, and of course Dr. S.S. Navalgund. I wanted to share a lot of things with Professor Navalgund, myself, and he, after my IIT Bombay, that BTech, whatever I have portrayed, we went actually, I took them all as a team, we went, and I'm sorry, I could not able to nurture that sort of idea or cultivate that idea in my institute, because we have medical college also. Of course, Satish, Dr. Satish was also there. He told one event was organized, which I was not aware to what extent that was. So we are all in a team. So probably with that, I think Navalgund sir has invited, I presume, thanks to him, and successfully conducting this STTP. And HOD, Dr. Vijaya C. Madam of ENC department, my colleagues from ENC department. Of course, AICT and IST, without their support, this would have been not possible. And my student friends and Alma Connect and all attendees of this program. I don't know what is the strength, but I could able to see only my screen. So attendees could able to get something take away from this session. In case if you have any sort of queries, anything, I'm available most of the time. All my details are available in the college website. If you have any questions, I'm open to that.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, it was really informative talk, sir, given by you. And sir, you showed some few videos which actually held the attention of all the participants. The videos, the presentation was really attractive, sir. And you had given some examples of the students, to name a few: Nihal Revankar, Make in India Initiative, sir. And one more example, sir, Mr. Samir Mutalik Desai, with a slogan that Kannada Batte Todi. Actually, it was very catchy, sir. The slogan Kannada Batte Todi, now Kannadigara Agi, now we slogan na follow Madlebeku, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Just to add, those ideas were not mine actually. I have sowed a seed of that entrepreneur sort of thing. I don't know. Probably I don't showcase myself as I only did that. Probably it may be wrong, but he's in touch with me. Okay, very recently I think we had some more discussions, our college related. So let us see how best. Any participants, if you have anything query, you can able to. Otherwise, I'll just close the session. Thank you.
Sir. Yeah. Anish Sharma developed the instrument, sir. It was, I also showed in the video about the cycling, sir. We can use that instrument, and actually it was a very good, sir. Very good thought, sir, given by you, sir.
Yeah, it is not mine. It is a BTech Bombay which has developed. I came to know, so I just wanted to show, because these all videos generally I show it to my students to make them little serious. Only thing is we should divert their attention. That is what is the main crux what I'm looking.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Very true, sir. Very true.
Sir, good morning. Good morning, Sunil Kumar, sir. I'm Professor Revankar from Mechanical Department.
Oh, sir, nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, it was quite absorbing. I was there for the entire from 9:30 till now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Very informative session.
Thank you.
In fact, I just posted one question. If it can interest you, we can take up. But major part of it is answered. But we can just get it from the chat box. Yeah.
Prashant Revankar,
yes, exactly.
Involvement in the student development. Of course, I need not have to tell more about it. In fact, I just forgot. In fact, much of content what I thought initially it may not be sufficient. I don't know. I could not able to do justification.
Yeah.
I think you are doing a pupa activity in your institute where I think we also discussed it, but somehow we could not able to do that formally. Okay, but you people are doing really fantastic for the first year. That is what probably I just told one of my professor, Dr. Gopal Krishna Kamlapur sir, he's doing in the electrical department. I think we should throw them to one common platform so that they themselves feel motivated to showcase that. So probably I hope it is the same question pertaining to that.
Yeah. I just wanted to know about how do we bring in entrepreneurship in our students. So my observation is that entrepreneurship is more about a gut feeling and not very much connected to the the technical knowledge. Probably, I feel a brainy student would not be a good entrepreneur.
Exactly. Because whoever I have showcased this, in fact, I have one more actually, Purva Abhishek, who is in Hubli actually, Purva Associates. He has started. I was shocked actually. He only, because of knowing my contacts, he only called me and told they are all below average only or average students only, because they have that passion of doing something where and taking risk. So taking risk, generally this what you say, the people, those who score more, they never want to take risk. They want a comfort zone, like getting some good company like Google or IBM or something like that. So they have that. So you should cash out of that through your class only, and then tap them and then motivate them and then tell them, see, this is going to be one of the again interesting arena where you can give the what you say, sort of employment, rather than again seeking on the employability. So like that we can motivate, and some whatever that events are there, that we have to do more of this thing. Let us see, sir, together. NEP says a lot of buzzwords. How they are going to make that actually give the guidelines and do that. Let us hope.
Thank you, sir, for the informative talk. Thank you.
Sir,
Anybody?
one more question. Sir,
Yeah.
one more question from the participant Lavanya Santosh, madam.
Yeah.
Such involvement with the student is really appreciable. Kindly provide us some inputs or suggestions on that, how to go ahead or how to start.
In fact, this is a $1 billion question. Even I am also struggling, Lavanya madam, because I have crossed 50, another some 8 years or 9 years of my service. Still, I am unable to get settled with this attitude of the students. So a lot of things you have to do, hit and trial. Sometimes what you say, as a probably you know better than me as a mother, how you make your children know. Sometimes you have to make little harsh sort of attitude, and sometime convincing, and sometime patting them and then motivating them. So all this, the mixture actually which you have to. In fact, I take myself that I am very poor in that actually convincing. But somehow I am doing all such kind of activity, and even the students are getting scared also to do the project, because what I do, this whatever that agri product I told from Coastal Line. So soon we are going to file a patent actually, that is done through my student project only. Initially they were also scared in the in between, because their attitude, it was totally just for namesake they used to come for getting sign and all. Sometimes you have to be harsh, and I took them couple of times on my own vehicle, spending from my pocket, and showcased, see, this is the importance of the agriculture. He is facing problem. Why can't you just shoulder him? It is only for the nation building. And again, I convinced them, if at all this product clicks, no, you can do the startup like. So I have motivated, and they are so much motivated now. Today I'm proud. We have also submitted that particular idea for the Manthan. I'm just hoping they will get some this thing. So such kind of, you should cash out of at least some later, once they know that this faculty, yes, he is useful and he can able to contribute and support and then guide, automatically that cycle will continue. But only thing, initially it is going to be a little struggle only. For me also, I think it is the fruits are coming only 2018 onwards or 16 onwards, whereas I have joined this institute way back in 2002. So overnight it may not be possible, but right attitude, right this thing, involvement, definitely it will give you the fruits in the days to come. Hope I have addressed you, madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I think due to the shortage of the time, sir,
Yeah.
there are another few questions, like how to decide where to establish the company and all. Can you?
But see, establishing company, I think your institute, look into the institute. We are lucky actually. We have the cell actually, entrepreneurship development cell, startup cell is there. There you can, and there are some more actually. If you want, I have the information. There is one organization in Hubli, Deshpande Foundation. They only train the students if you have the idea or if you have the guts to become an entrepreneur. They train you, they fund you, they see to that for 1 year they will make you what you say, some sort of platform where you can make your like choice whether to continue as an entrepreneur or not to continue as an entrepreneur. Okay, they will give that platform. And even our state government, Startup India, Skill India, that platforms are also there, wherein you can tell your students to go and then get the information through that. Lot of information is available in the startup and startup KSCST. Sorry, I think
Okay, sir.
ITBT cell and all. Okay, thank you.
Madam, Sunil sir.
Yeah, Hosur sir.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
So what about the engineering students' employability in the coming days? Because of NEP 20 and AIC,
Sir, I'll because of the time, I'll shortcut. We can have the debate. As of now, I am also sailing in the same boat in which you are sailing. I am also eager to know. I'm not that proficient nor expertise to comment on that. Okay, with my little experience of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Hope I could able to. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Sorry, I think it went along.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You can reach me at any time. My details are there in the college website, phone number, email ID. If at all, if I am of any help to you. Thank you. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another speaker has been joined. Dr. Mahadev Prasanna, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
A very good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Sir,
Able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible, sir. Sir, before you start the session, I request Professor Kotrish Marli, sir, to introduce you, sir, to the participants.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good morning to one and all. It's my proud privilege to introduce today's invited speaker, Dr. Mahadev Prasanna, sir. Dr. Mahadev Prasanna, sir, is currently working as a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Dharwad. Sir completed his Bachelor of Engineering from Sri Siddhartha Institute of Technology, Tumkur in the year 1994. Later, he did his Masters from NIT Surathkal in the year 1997 and completed his PhD degree from IIT Madras in the year 2004. Professor Mahadevan, sir, currently working as a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Dharwad. Prior to this, sir worked as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Guwahati, and he promoted to associate professor in the same IIT Guwahati in the year 2007. Professor Mahadevan, sir, have a good administrative experience. He served as a Dean Faculty Welfare and Research Development at IIT Guwahati as well as in IIT Dharwad. He served as chairman for a prestigious examination, that is Graduate Aptitude Test for Engineers in the year 2011, which was conducted by IIT Guwahati in the year 2010 to May 2011. Sir was an organizing vice chairman during the year 2010 for GATE examination, and he is also faculty in charge counseling cell at IIT Guwahati in the year 2005 to 2007. Professor Mahadevan, sir, is also a successful entrepreneur. He is a co-founder for DFM Info Analytics and co-founder for Speech Warrant Private Limited. Professor Mahadevan, sir, is also a consultant for many public sector units and private limited companies. Sir's research interest is in speech and handwriting processing, application of signal processing and pattern recognition, applications of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Professor Mahadevan, sir, handles the subjects like probability and random theory, data analytics, pattern recognition, machine learning, neural networks, deep learning, and speech processing. Currently, he is guiding 12 PhD students, and 18 students have already completed PhD under his valuable guidelines. Under his guidelines, 26 students completed MTech degree. With this brief introduction, I welcome Dr. Mahadev Prasanna, sir, for this session. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much for that elaborate introduction. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Thank you very much. So, when Professor Navalgund reached out to me, he asked me to talk about how to enhance this R&D culture in engineering colleges so that it will in turn have an effect on employability of the students and also create opportunities for entrepreneurship. So that was the theme given to me. So I will present my thoughts in that direction, and I welcome you all to this talk. I have organized my thought in the following ways. Of course, all of us are witness to what we went through for last from March 2020 onwards. About 2 years went in the name of COVID. And of course, if to all of us, if we wish, we can have this look around and see what lessons we can have from this COVID experience. Of course, that experience can be taken into different dimensions of life, but I will limit myself from my thought process towards what innovations we can do in the teaching and research domains of any educational institution. I will take one case study of role of this library and information services. This as a case study, of course, that can be applicable to the other department centers and divisions of an engineering college. What prominence it had and what is currently being viewed, and how the future of library and information services can change. As a result, the same thing, of course, to a varying degree, can happen for our academic departments also, academic centers also, and other divisions of the institution. I'll briefly mention few points about engineering education that was there in the past, mostly when we were all students or even earlier to our studentship, and what it is going through currently. What is the present status of our engineering education? I think we don't have to highlight, we are all aware of it. And if it continues like this, what is going to be the future of engineering education? Of course, as teachers in engineering colleges, we are questioning that what will be involved in becoming a teacher in an engineering college, especially in this changed scenario, and keeping the future prospectus of engineering colleges. What is required for any person to equip herself to become a teacher on this one? Sorry. Of course, for last decade or so, or maybe more than 1.5 decades, there is a lot of emphasis on bringing research culture in engineering colleges. So, of course, initially the journey started about asking the faculty to earn PhD degrees, which was made mandatory for getting your career progression and those things. But once you get your PhD, there was no requirement to furthering your research aspect when you come back to your engineering colleges. But looks like that is no more going to be the scenario. with the changed education policy and expectations of for the next generation which we are training. So in that direction, I want to highlight what steps we may have to employ to become a successful teacher and researcher in engineering colleges. Then I'll summarize my talk. These are the points which I've mentioned. Maybe if some of you need some other points to be covered, please feel free to interrupt or question, by asking questions. If I know, I will share that knowledge. Of course, all these views are my personal views based on my experience being in the field of academics for nearly maybe more than 2 decades, and working at different places where each place have their own dynamics, which involves only teaching emphasis was there, only research emphasis was there, where there are institutes where both teaching and research emphasis was there. So like this, I was very fortunate to get associated with such places and compare myself the pros and cons of each of these places. So in that direction, I have put my thoughts here, and feel free to interrupt me at any point of time if you want to ask any questions. At least these points, I thought to myself and put these pointers here. Only thing is, all of us, our memories are very short. Okay. Just 2 years back, when we were all locked up in our homes, March 20 onwards, 20th March 20, I think. Oh. So you can see we were all sitting at home, and whole world was in standstill, and many times we were dreaming whether our life will come back to normalcy. But now if you go back and see in the public place, we feel that whether such a thing happened or not. Okay. So people are so normal, and they get used to the working life, and that's good. But at the same time, there are certain aspects which will be good if we consider them, at least to adopt some of those thought process for improving the quality of our life and career. Of course, one good thing is definitely we got enough time for introspecting ourselves, because there's nothing else to do. You don't need to go to office. You don't have to work, sit at home, and only thing is you should not get out of the house. So naturally, it's a very good place where you got a lot of time for introspection. Of course, many of us, at that time, if you have watched the media, there were some discussions, talks, presentations going on, telling what is important in life. Okay, the priority in life. Okay, so we are all behind this rat race of achieving this, achieving that, and of course, most of the time, monetary is the main component. So I have to earn this much, I have to earn there, and I have to get this designation, I have to become big, great, all those things. But it is always important to see, how do I become, or how do I use my potential to the maximum extent possible. Of course, it is very easy to state this thing. It refers to me also, that we need to consider certain things very seriously in our profession. Okay, so what is important in life, and how do I prioritize my requirements? That becomes a very important aspect that we have to consider. Also, when we were sitting at home, even though initially for first few days we might have felt it's good, I don't need to go to office and I don't have to work. But quickly we got bored. And also we realized the importance of working, significance of working, how working has kept our lives moving. Okay. Otherwise, 24/7 you are at home. It's very difficult to, at least most of us who come for work, if you get some few days leave, you feel like enjoying, but if it becomes too much also, you feel like going back to office. Okay. Of course, all of us have seen the most affected sector during COVID, like any other sector, was education sector. Okay. So all schools were locked up, the colleges were not running. For last 2 years, it's mostly online education, especially for engineering, which is a professional course without laboratory training. So what will be the knowledge learned by the student? That is in a big question mark. Okay. But fortunately, this time of this pandemic, maybe we are lucky that the significance of technology played a crucial role to minimize the damage. And also this online mode of interaction helped greatly. Okay. If not COVID would not have been there. This online mode of education would not have got that much big push throughout the world. Now it has become a norm for our interaction with student. Also, it has become an important mode of delivering the content. Of course, all of us before pre-COVID era, we are all used to go to the classrooms, chalk and board mode of teaching. Then suddenly this came and we are clueless on how to teach in online mode. But all of us, even though we were not greatly passionate about online teaching, but still we got quickly used to do that. And it became a part and parcel of our life, academic life. So in that way, see, with this new education policy and the technological revolutions that are happening, the next generation student community have information explosion at the click of their or scrolling of their mobile phone. In such a challenging time, how do we make our teaching relevant? Okay. One view is, blackboard teaching is the best thing and this online teaching is no use. Okay. That is one extreme view we can take. But since that is going to be that is a reality now, becoming one important component of the education process, we have left with no option, but we have to see how to make online teaching very attractive for the students. Similarly, coming to the research part, of course, as I mentioned in the opening remark, so most of us have gone for doing PhD, did our PhD, published some articles, and came back to our colleges. And in the colleges, when I take any engineering college, the emphasis is only on undergraduate teaching. They were not very keen on that as a faculty member, you carry out research. Okay. If you want to do, you do it, but institute was not very keen on encouraging research to any of the faculty, most of the faculty members. Okay. However, now with the latest ranking phenomenon, okay, and because of this rank, your college is being compared in the state as well as the nation, which the rank of the institute will in turn decide what quality of the students you are going to get. One important component that became relevant is, apart from teaching, our faculty also have to involve in research. So this twisted the mindset of the management of engineering colleges that, okay, we should allow faculty to do research. Whether you encourage or not, it's a different thing, but at least you allow faculty to do research. But no, just saying that no, you have to do research, publish papers, will not help in a great way. Of course, you can publish some papers with because of the pressure or something, but there is a holistic change that is essential in the faculty members' mindset, that to consider research as in its true spirit. In its true spirit, at least from my experience, is we need to read a lot in our area of research to keep ourselves knowing more about what is happening currently at the national level and at international level. Then out of those things, what I can do in my place. So accordingly, perform experiments or simulations in my college, bring out some new things as a part of this process, then publish research articles. So this is the general way any faculty, if you consider, who in a premier institute in India and abroad, when we consider and ask them to do research, this is how they are going to consider mostly, where they spend significant amount of time in their working periods to exclusively go through the literature, finding out what is happening elsewhere, and based on that reading, they will get some ideas on how to generate new ideas and try experiments or simulations, and then write research articles. So that is a part and parcel of their life. And this type of culture is required to be gradually brought in to all the engineering colleges if we are talking about research. But if you say, no, we will just remain as an engineering teaching, undergraduate teaching engineering college, then we don't have to worry too much about that. But looks like, looking from the future prospects of the institute, any engineering college which is not going to adopt research as one of their pillars, we may not have a bright future. Okay, so that is where the significance of bringing research and development culture in an engineering college plays a crucial role. Of course, library and information services, which we all benefited in our student days, with this digital mode of education and online teaching, the mode in which it can rise to the occasion and deliver its responsibility has changed significantly. And I am taking that as a case study because to a varying degree it is applicable to all our academic departments also. But at least one good thing has happened is all of us have risen to the occasion in the last 2 years and saw to it that the damage is minimal compared to the other sectors, where you take a business sector and other things. They're completely crippled for some time, and they try to take some steps to recover. Again, next wave of COVID came like this. It has a significant beating on it. Whereas education sector somehow, thanks to this technology revolution as well as the online mode of instruction, somehow we are able to hold on to the fort. So that is a very positive thing that has happened in this COVID time. So, what is needed? Suppose I'm assuming that most of us as faculty members in engineering colleges, we are interested in innovating both in the fields of teaching and research. And naturally, the question is, why do we need such innovations in teaching and research? All of us are aware, are witness to this, that the admissions are dwindling year by year. Okay. All of us, of course, administration and management take special effort to fill as many seats as possible, but still, the admissions are dwindling. That too, you can see many of the so-called important engineering branches themselves have very low admissions, which people felt that these are core areas of engineering and it should be evergreen, and so many objectives were there. But now we are seeing the fate of that. So since the admissions are dwindling, somehow to fill the vacant seats, we have lowered the bar for admissions. So as a result of that, low quality students have come into the system, and naturally they will not be able to perform well. Accordingly, the companies who come for placement also may not have resources to train those low quality students so that they become ready for their company. So that's why there is no good placement concept. So now I think all of us experience, when the first year parents and the student come for admission, the first thing they will ask is, what is the placement scenario here? Will my ward get a placement, company job? If the placement is poor, naturally, it will have a spiral effect. Next year, your admissions will go down. So like this has happening in the vicious cycle for many years. And as a result of that, we have seen many of the colleges in the state are really going through a very tough phase. Which, when they all opened, they felt that okay, we can do a great job, and as a professional course, this will never happen. Alternatively, there are some education institutions in the state and other places also who identified the need to improve the culture of the institute, essentially the teaching and research culture. They started doing innovations, which in turn resulted in what we call good placement for the students. So accordingly, good quality of the students getting admitted to the institute. Okay, even if not good quality, but at least no seats are going vacant. So this we have seen in our neighborhood colleges where the administration as well as the management realized the significance of teaching and research and made it as a part of their mandate. Then it started changing culture in that institution. Of course, what is the quality of research and how to improve upon that? That is another debate that needs a separate session for discussion. But at least whoever have adopted the concept of innovation in teaching and research seem to are getting benefited with good number of students taking admissions. Also faculty doing research in their own domain, which all which in turn resulted in good placement, and then like that, the spiral effect, positive direction spiral effect happened. Suppose if I consider any engineering college, these are the pillars of any college. Of course, students, we will all be there in a college because students. Without students, whatever we may say low quality students or anything. But without students, there is no college. With no college, we are not there. Apart from that, the next important pillar in an engineering college is the faculty of that institution. Faculty means it's, of course, we need to have some qualifications and we are ready to do teaching or something. But more than that, the faculty members with a positive bent of mind towards innovating their approaches for carrying out teaching and research becomes very much essential when we act as pillars for any great institution. Of course, we need infrastructure so that whatever we dream to give a good training for the students, enough ambience, good ambience is kept in the place and enough facilities are available. Of course, the management of the institution plays an important role in bringing out the vision for the institute, what the institute should be after 5 years, what the institute will be after 10 years. Okay, so that is where the role of the management comes into picture. So management, I also include the administration associated with the institution. So these are the 4 broad pillars of the institute. We need to strengthen all these different pillars so that the institute becomes great in the years to come. Of course, see, we may have the feeling that no, we are informing management or administration, they are not listening to us, they do it in their own way. Then that in turn will say, no, okay, we can't do as a faculty anything. But can we play our role? What I feel is, all these 4 pillars are equally important to make the institute great. So that means to say, as faculty, we are one important pillar. Now, as teachers or faculty members, are we playing our roles effectively? Okay. Then the question will be, how do we play this role as teachers to bring up making the institution great? The question we ask is, no, as teachers, can we step in and contribute? Yes, it is indeed. At least we can consider this teaching and research domains because that is our forte. We will be, as a teacher, if I want to stay in this field, one question we have to learn in this current scenario is how to kindle interest in learning. Okay, even for self-learning as well as learning by the students. Okay, generally earlier period, as teacher, no, I have access to one good book, prescribed textbook of that subject. I study, make notes out of each, and then go and teach. Blackboard teaching. That is all fine. But now it is no more the case, because for the same subject that you are teaching, there are a large number of resources available publicly. To be frank, many times much better than what I am going to deliver on a blackboard. And the next generation, naturally being tech savvy, they have no problem in following them. This puts a challenge on our teaching abilities. So naturally the question will be how to kindle interest in learning. That is the bigger question we have to keep in mind as teachers. any sort of thought process that, oh, these low quality students, they don't show interest in learning. Also, what can we do? If they are interested, we would have done better as teachers. That is perfectly fine. But the way I view is that is all we have in our plate. So how do I enjoy that? Okay, that's the way we have to keep. Then coming to the research aspect also, so one more statement with reference to teaching. It is not just reading one prescribed text for teaching your course. You may also have to be going through a lot of information available in the public domain. And from these multiple resources, you may have to prepare a note which can be exploited for developing approaches of kindling interest in learning. Because ultimately the goal here is, when a student or students come and sit in my class for 1 hour, are they going out of the class with a good smile on their face? Also, they get a feeling that, okay, today I attended the class, I learned one important concept. Okay. That is where most of us have to pay time or attention to sharpen our teaching skills. Coming to the research, naturally, just doing PhD is insufficient. We need to continue our research work. So to continue our research work, since the technological field is changing so fast, we need to have frameworks to upskill ourselves with the latest technological trends and then exploit them to carry out research, which will in turn bring vibrance to the system. So also, if you are interested, we can also consider the third dimension of being in an academic field. You can also participate in the academic administration and help the institute to move to the next level. Okay. So in that way, we may have to innovate ourselves in the domain of teaching. We should be ready to upskill ourselves to carry out cutting-edge research. And the best way to change is you become the change maker. So accordingly, you may have to have this academic administration responsibility also you can take up and contribute to the growth of the institute. Of course, if I take the Library and Information Services division, all of us agree, when at least in our student days, Library and Information Service played a very special place in our education institutions. But now the things have changed currently. We have moved from hard copy to digital versions of the books, conference proceedings, journals, patents, discussion space. So most of the things are digital. So if that is the case, what a Library and Information Services Center can adopt to stay relevant to the changing needs. And that is true for all of us in our academic departments. Means, suppose I belong to one traditional engineering discipline, and I say that, no, you have to, when a student comes to our department, whether it's UG or PG student, we decide what they should study and what they should work. We don't listen to them on asking their interests in the domain of this program that they have taken. So accordingly, we may have to adapt. So in the same way, if I come to the library thing, where we had earlier, we have assigned to one physical location. Now it has become virtual, so that it is all pervasive through the intranet. You can, at a click of your mouse, you can come to know about new information that you want to study. So accordingly, the library work of issuing books, borrowing books from library, and xeroxing some portions of the books or research papers, those things have gone. I don't think they will return back now. Okay. So accordingly, the business models of library and information service providers also have changed. So otherwise, if you, as a library and information source center person, I say, oh, no student is coming to library and they are not studying anything, that maybe a view, it's okay by sitting in library. But if you see the actual technological trend, next generation is effectively employing the technological trend. Okay, so as a result of that, there is no need for them to come to the library. Now you can see the disconnect between the student community who are seeking information and the library center which is providing information. There is a disparity in terms of what is required for the community and what they can offer. Okay. And even if you see, of course, this is a case example which is very close to my heart, that maybe a decade back or so, every library, at least in a premier institute, had a big division for storing the periodicals or journals and use them through Xerox facility if I want to study certain portion of that. And now, accordingly, what happens is, since they're all hard copies, it is very difficult for the organization to see the bifurcation. Okay. So accordingly, the institute has to pay the entire amount to subscribe to those facilities. That will be very high cost. So naturally, they don't procure that many good material. So all these things we have seen. But now the business model is changing in such a way that, so you will pay for the use. So there is nothing like annual subscription you take and then 1 year you can access, and immediately after 1 year you can't access. No, there is nothing. So pay for use. I want to just read this paper. I came to know about a article and I want to read this paper. Then I can just pay for only that article and get the download of that article and read it to get more information about the knowledge that is there in the library information. So why I am emphasizing this point is, our traditional approach of book borrowing and book issuing and taking back, which was a major chunk of their responsibility, is no more there nowadays. Okay. One view is, so students are not interested, students are not coming, but you come and see my library. It has been organized very well, and because of this, student will come to the lab to work. But if you see, if I do the introspection only by considering library and information services, there is a serious thought required on how do we revamp this library and information services. All of us, at least our generation, have gone through this journey that we had very good camera films, still camera films, if you all of you recall. And well-known company, one of the major share of their revenue was by selling these camera films. And they never imagined that something like what is called digital camera will come. Once the digital camera comes, nobody uses your roll-based, film-based cameras. They refuse to change. Okay. Now you can see the fate of that company. Company is no more. It has gone bankrupt long back. Because nobody nowadays will go back and use this analog camera films for shooting the sceneries or images of some persons. Okay. So this example I am telling, I think it will be useful for all our departments that we are very passionate about preserving the our department as a separate vertical, not trying to join hands or accept the changes that are happening. We are in that stage of camera films. Okay. But what is happening in the society now is the digital camera equivalent. Okay. People can go and learn from anywhere, get the credit for that learned thing, and use that credit for getting their academic degree. And also they will have the flexibility for taking courses, almost like many of the abroad universities changes that are happening. With that much flexibility, I cannot say, no, when you come to my department, you listen to me what I teach, you just follow what I say, you don't have to worry about anything. So, and my department is great, and mine is very specialization. I don't have to interact with others. So these are all analog camera thought process, camera films thought process. Whereas these flexible things that has come into the education space, which further got accelerated with COVID, is going to be a reality in future. So that's where this new education policy has been formulated, and efforts are being made to adopt them at various levels in the country. Now, if you see the engineering education in the past, it was, people say, of course, I may not be a very high quality student, but at least I have heard that the quality of the students in the past was very good. That is, who are highly motivated, that is passion in what they want to study, and good in academics will choose engineering like any other professional course. Highly motivated and good in academics will choose the engineering. So the academic toppers used to come to this engineering or medical, any profession. And in the true spirit, when we analyze what is happening, what happened in the earlier generation of electrical engineering, or any, for that matter, any engineering education, there is a lot of field study and gaining practical experience, very much essential as a part of their learning. So even people say the faculty members which were opting for academic field were mostly they were academic toppers in their respective institutions, and also they may come with rich field experience. Okay, that is what the earlier thing ought to happen. Of course, when you come to the teaching or knowledge sharing, it is mostly classroom teaching, and books gets issued from the library, maybe 2 weeks or so interval, and then use the book and give it back. And laboratories and field testing had a significant portion of curriculum. Okay, we'll go hand in hand to validate the concepts that are explained in the theory courses. Even when you consider what type of work the students used to do as a part of project, they mostly, they used to build maybe to a varying degree of success. These engineering systems are built as part of the projects, real life projects. So with that, what they used to see, suppose if they build a system, they know what is the use case in practice, or otherwise, if that use case person knows what type of technology to be built, which can be done through our BTech projects to some extent. So, of course, people used to call apprentice or internship. They need to go to the relevant organization to gain practical experience. So with all these different things which were happening earlier, overall, country believes that the well-trained professionals are available to take up the job. Now, currently, if you see for the last few years of education engineering status, at least in Karnataka, and then maybe similar things may be happening in other states. Quality of the student, they are not so motivated and not so good in academics. So both these are, my father told you join engineering, my mother told you join engineering. So that had become a decision factor now if somebody wants to take the engineering, rather than I am passionate about doing research in a specific area. On top of it, they may not be very great in academics. So these factors will in turn not so motivated, not so good in academic. Coming to the professional courses that I are going to study, especially my comments are limited to engineering educations. Mostly there is no field studies. Okay. We have comfortably made them into mathematics or the courses that we can teach inside 4 walls of a classroom. So as a result of that, our students are getting at a very significant disadvantage that they lack practical experience. Of course, blame I have to take on myself. As a faculty, even I do not have much rich field experience. If I don't have a rich field experience, how do I in turn share or mentor my young students for taking up jobs or to increase the employability or higher studies so that the positive effect happens in the institution. Coming to the knowledge that students are going to now getting through compared to the past, of course, classroom teaching we are continuing. But one good thing happened is there is a lot of material available in the public domain and also books. So as a result of this, there is no dearth for information, which was not like earlier, where I have to go physically to the class and listen to the teacher. Suppose for a few seconds I lose my interest, it will be difficult to gain back the knowledge earlier. But now it's not the case. When I go to class, even I am not following what teacher is telling, I can go and get that information in the public domain. And even many public domain alternative materials will be much more lucid and much more depth insightful nowadays, available freely in the public domain. And even books, coming to books also, I can have. Earlier we used to, any subjects you take, there is one good book, that's it. But now there are several good books written for a particular subject. Now I can hold on to multiple books. So as a result of that, students have avenues to learn. So this should be made use to bring motivation to the student and also to help these students not so good in academic to ensure that they reach that minimum threshold of knowledge acquisition. Of course, coming to the laboratories and field training, as I told, it has become minuscule nowadays. And even in the name of laboratories and field training, whatever we do, it is mostly bookish knowledge. Okay. So naturally, bookish knowledge means there is no uncertainty involved. So naturally, there is no learning from there, except that they wrote some report for each of the experiment and took some standard numbers and made them as a tabulation and graphs. Otherwise, they will not be able to relate it to an issue in the practical field, okay, which was in abundance in the past. In the past, even though the student do not score much, but from an engineering knowledge point of view, practically building systems, they were at the top. And that can be attributed mainly, one of the important reasons, to the amount of exposure they used to get in the laboratories and the field training. Of course, projects also, the true spirit of project has gone now. Even many places, premier institutes also, they have made these projects what we call optional. You don't have to complete a project to get your degree. Okay. Even if somebody, you force them to do the project,